Good evening and welcome to the 35th episode of TFF Talks. I'm your host, Danny Cook, and tonight is our very special season review. But before we begin, this show is sponsored by Classic 11 Shirts and brought to you by Crowford Media and Halftime Cuppa. You can find all the links in the description below. And if you are watching live tonight via YouTube, please send in your questions and comments to us in either the YouTube chat section or to us via Twitter at official TFF. The plan is for this to be an explosive show. We've got a great panel on, so please do get involved. And don't forget that you can catch up on all of our previous 34 episodes on Audio Boom now. So please do check them out once we are done. But for this evening and the special season review, I am joined by Josh Keeble-Wells, owner of the Last Waltz Blog, full-time funny man and part-time presenter. Josh, it's great to have you back.
Well, yeah, cheers for having me on, Danny, mate.
No worries, no worries. And joining Josh tonight, we have Alex Crofer, the man himself, Bradley Dax Masseuse.
Wait, you said that in masseuse?
Masseuse! Oh, no! Oh, that's a disaster. Let's try that again. Bradley Dax Masseuse.
That's better, thank you. I like the official title. Thank you.
No problem. Great to have you back on as always. Good. Okay. And joining Alex and Josh, hopefully later on, we have Ben Jones, who's a Peterborough United fan, joint manager of TFF, and hopefully he'll be on to input his views on. And obviously Max, of course, as well, the Delia Smith of banter.
Oh no, wait.
Go on, Alex. I know you've done a fantastic impression. Do you want to do it again?
No. He's got his tea in literally 5 minutes. He's just told me.
Oh no, that's a disaster. That's a disaster.
His mum's got his tea ready in 5 minutes. Oh goodness me.
No.
Someone tell her it's TFF Talks. Mum, come on.
Where are you?
Oh no.
Anyway, moving on. Let's get straight into the first part of tonight's show. We're obviously talking about the Premier League. So let's start with Josh, obviously an avid Premier League fan, being a supporter of West Ham. Josh, if you had to describe the previous Premier League season in one word, what word would that be?
Underwhelming.
Why is that?
Well, good question, Danny. I don't know. It all seemed a bit very routine, and towards the end, it was very, very obvious that Chelsea were going to win the title. And let's be honest, they strolled to the title, and they barely had any competition.
No, Josh. Spurs did put the pressure on. So
until they came to the London Stadium, and Manuel Lanzini dug them their grave and put them firmly in it.
Yeah, I was wondering how long it'd be before we brought that up.
4 minutes.
I don't think we're literally 3-4 minutes at most.
Well, you brought it up.
Okay. Let's bring in Alex in. Alex, how would you describe the Premier League season in one word?
Jury.
Why is that? Why jury?
Because there was a lot of issues.
You can't say that.
There's quite a few people who made mistakes. I think that really just does sum up. Really, need I say any more?
I can just hear him tapping away on the keyboard. He's not going to be happy about that. Why? You say there was lots of mistakes. What?
Yeah, I think
what comes to mind then? What mistakes?
I think there's been quite a few missed opportunities for certain teams. It wasn't a great season overall, so I think quite a few teams had a chance to climb higher than they could have. I think quite a few really missed out on that chance. I think West Ham, potentially could have been one. Obviously, I think the new stadium helped, even though it's probably meant to. I think West Ham will probably go really well next season if they get a few key players in. Looking forward, I think the London Stadium for them will be good. It'll just take time to sort of adjust to the new surrounds and the atmosphere, really.
Yeah, let's get Josh's snap reaction to that. We are obviously going to talk more about our clubs a little bit later on. But for now, Josh, what's your quick thoughts on Alex's comments there?
Well, we've had a good start to the transfer window with the addition of Pablo Zabaleta, who, in my opinion, is still a fantastic player and obviously can play at the top level. However, we definitely need additions to that. We need a tricky winger, and we definitely need at least 2 strikers. I mean, you got Enner Valencia coming back from his loan from Everton.
Look at that.
You know, I mean, he's going to have to go.
No, put him up front by himself.
Oh no, I mean, just give Enner the captaincy. But listen, there's a lot of problems in these sorting throughout the team, and I mean, cast your mind back to 2 years ago. We was getting our business done very early, and to this day, 2 years ago, West Ham United signed Dimitri Payet.
Wow,
That turned out well.
that's incredible. It's incredible. Okay, well let's reel everyone back in for a second. Let's talk about the season just gone. So what? We'll go to Alex first. What clubs or players or managers have impressed you the most?
To be honest with you, there's not many who have really impressed me at all. I think Bournemouth for me is another one. Eddie Howe's done a fantastic job, I think, this year. Making them sort of build on what they did last season. I think they've done really fantastic. I think really they're one of the only ones who I can really say have really impressed me.
So just Bournemouth then. Just Bournemouth on that then, Alex.
Yeah, I think overall there's not been many teams who have really stood out, but I think Bournemouth for me are certainly the ones.
Josh, would you agree?
Listen, Bournemouth have had a fantastic campaign, and obviously their start to the transfer window has been phenomenal. Bringing in the likes of Begovic and looking also to bring in the same sort of caliber as Begovic. I mean, if they signed Defoe, what a signing that is. But yeah, Bournemouth have been fantastic. 2 for me that stand out are Burnley, definitely Sean Dyche. I think, you know, the home record speaks for itself. Obviously, the away record was shabby, but to keep Burnley in the Premier League, you know, Burnley done well to stick with Dyche after that relegation, sorry. And, you know, he's brought his Burnley team back, bigger, better, stronger, and it definitely showed. But another manager I liked was Paul Clement when he came in at Swansea. When they first appointed him, I wasn't too sure on the appointment, but he certainly proved me and a lot of other people wrong.
Would you say these sorts of managers, Josh, that obviously managing clubs who were unfortunately down sort of the bottom end of the table or just mid-table, do you feel they sort of don't get the recognition they deserve?
Well, I think a great example of that would be Tony Pulis. I mean, he gets slaughtered for his sort of tactics and how his sides play football. But let's be honest, how long has this guy been around? And he's moved with the game. Let's not forget that. It could have been so easy for him to get lost in the game and sort of stick to his own ways and be naive. But let's look at it. You know, West Brom are flair players. Look at Nasser Chadli. Look at Matt Phillips. He has moved with the game and he's still playing fantastic football, getting fantastic results. So for me, Tony Pulis is the prime example of what you just described, Danny.
Okay, bit of a curveball now. We'll go back to you, Josh, first on this again. Cast your minds back. Who would you say was the transfer of the season? For Premier League clubs. So I'll give you a little bit of time to maybe digest that. But
mine is the same player as last season, and I think he is the best player in the Premier League, and that is N'Golo Kante.
Okay, and I mean, I can understand that, and I mean the stats back him up. I believe he's got more. He's recorded more points than any other Premier League team. So yeah, I can agree with that. But care to explain why you feel that way?
Listen, I think N'Golo Kante is one of those players where you could put him in any side in the Premier League, and they'd probably win the league by of Burnley and that, and he'd probably get them to at least the Europa League. World-class player that wasn't getting much recognition over in the French league, and he's come here and Christ, he has took this league in his stride, and I've never seen such a fantastic player. Obviously, unbelievably bad, but that's not his job. The best in the world at what he does, and he's the second coming of Makelele.
Love that. But quick question on him: if he was to say go to, or if he was to have gone to an Arsenal or a Manchester United instead, do you still think he would have won the Premier League this season?
Yeah, definitely. Like as I said, you put him in any of the sort of top sides, they win the league without a shadow of a doubt. And of pedigree now, he's won the Premier League back to back with different sides. It'd be interesting to see how he fares in Europe because, listen, bear in mind he hasn't played in the Champions League yet. He gets to play in the Champions League, so it will be interesting next season to see how he fares with the amount of games he's going to have to cope with.
Yeah, fair point. Let's bring in Alex then. Alex, your transfer of the season for the Premier League clubs.
I'll be honest. I think I'll probably have to agree with Josh. I think Kante is definitely the signing of the season, but if I was to play a little bit of devil's advocate, I'll say Ibrahimovic for something a little bit different. If you look at where Man United finished in the league and who scored what goals, etc., I think they would have been nowhere near where they were at the end of the season if they didn't have Ibrahimovic, especially because they literally paid nothing for him as well. I think he's proved he can do it in the most competitive league in the world. So I'd probably say Kante, but to play devil's advocate, someone like an Ibra would probably, for me, become a close second.
Interesting. Obviously, Ibra's sort of parted ways with Manchester United. Where do you think he's going to go next, Alex?
Hopefully Norwich. You never know. I can dream. We just got that new sponsor today, so maybe they'll invest a little bit. No, seriously. I could see him going to a club in China. Obviously, a lot of players tend to go to China these days. It's difficult. He's cracked. The only league he hasn't really cracked properly is the Premier League still. But I can't see where he'd go there. But Josh, what do you think, mate? 'Cause I'm stuck here. Where would he go?
Oh, now I'm gonna throw in quite a controversial one. I
Go
think
for it.
he'll have recovered by his injury, and he will re-sign for Manchester United.
What?
Yes. Now, right. I will explain myself. Now, think of how good business this would be from Manchester United. Your top goal scorer, who you got for free, is out for basically a year with one of the biggest injuries you can get in football, the ACL. He's got a contract expiring. You release him. He's still training at Manchester United. Don't forget that. He's having his recovery there. He's having his rehab there. I think he'll be such a character inside that sort of dressing room still that come January, he'll be fit, he'll be raring to go. And I think Jose Mourinho will end up saying to Zlatan, listen, come back. Even if you're only a bit part player, we need you involved in this Manchester United side.
It sounded very far-fetched, but you've almost convinced me.
Yeah.
I think we'll see Manchester United and Zlatan definitely with each other next season.
What?
I think you should tweet that just so we can have it all improved.
Well, I'll tell you what. You can sort of trim this video down and put it on the TFF Twitter. How about
that? Perfect.
Awesome. Just a quick one on that. Like, why do you feel that Manchester United have sort of chosen not to renew his contract then?
Well, for the simple fact, to save money, Danny. Why would you listen? You wouldn't. I'm trying to think of an example, but I can't. But why would you keep an injured player, like give an injured player a 1-year contract when you know full well he's not going to play for 6 months of it at the very least? You don't. So you re-sign him in January, wait for him to score another 15 goals, then let him go.
Yeah, and then the obvious argument to that though is that because it's not unless they've got something they've talked something out and they've got some sort of agreement. I mean, there's always a chance he could sneak off somewhere else.
Yeah,
is there?
Now,
I was going to say, is there any other sort of Premier League club that you could maybe see him at? Because sorry,
another Premier League club.
Yes, I don't see him. I feel he is not done with the Premier League yet, personally.
I think just for banter purposes, it'd be great to see him at Manchester City.
Oh, it would, wouldn't it?
I think if he come the Manchester Derby day, Zlatan makes his first appearance at Manchester City. It's 0-0. It's a tight game. Wayne Rooney's just been sent off for headbutting Fernandinho. And then Zlatan breaks away. This is the 95th minute. Chips De Gea. Wheels away. Runs all the way to the Manchester United and does.
And then he gets called offside.
Yeah, he's offside. And then he gets banned for 3 matches. But just picture that. Imagine that.
Zlatan's the type of bloke who would do that, wouldn't he? Who would?
Yeah, I think that arrogant, he just wouldn't care. Like as much as he loves you.
Not in the slightest. Not in the slightest.
Mm. Well, it'd be interesting to see what happens. But yeah, I completely agree. I think it's clearly a move to sort of reduce costs, doesn't it? It sort of seems that way. So yeah, I can understand. Moving on now, let's talk about what players, clubs, or managers that have disappointed you this season. Let's start with Alex.
Ooh, have disappointed me. I mean, you could argue Leicester, but I think we all sort of expected them to go down a little bit from obviously where they were. Oh god, that's a really, really tricky question. Have you got anything, Josh? Want to do some research?
Sorry, mate.
Have I got anything?
Yeah.
Yes, I do. Yes. Gokhan, Sofiane Feghouli, but I do think he will be fantastic next season. Jonathan Cleary, Alvaro Arbeloa. Who else did we employ?
Why?
I'm a bit surprised you're saying Arbeloa, though. I'm pretty sure he was.
But I'm underwhelmed because. Listen, he made 3 appearances and one of them was against Accrington Stanley in the EFL Cup. Do you know what I mean? How can I not be underwhelmed? Listen, West Ham made a number of pointless signings that had zero quality and nothing to offer, just for the simple fact they were cheap and they added numbers to the squad.
And who would you sort of lay blame to that then?
Oh, it's difficult.
Does the buck stop with Slavan or does it go higher than that?
Listen, it's obvious that the Gokhan signing is a Slaven Bilic signing. But the owners do tend to get involved in the business a lot and sign their own players. So I think that Cleary was a Golden Sullivan signing. I think Feghouli was a Slavan signing, and I think Arbeloa was a board signing. It's just sort of simple fact Arbeloa fell out with Slaven Bilic very, very quickly. So I think the buck has to stop with all of them. But listen, if you're an owner and you're getting involved in the club's transfer business, what you employing a manager for? Let the manager do the business. It's his squad. Let him do the business and let him build his own squad and employ his own tactics. Okay,
well, let's bring in Ben Jones now, who joins us. I'm hoping he's now here. Hello, Ben.
Yeah.
Good. So we're talking about the Premier League at the moment. I'll give you the question, but I'll come back to you a little bit longer so you can digest it even. So we're currently talking about what players, clubs and managers have sort of disappointed you in the Premier League this season. So give yourself some time to think about it. We'll go to Alex first.
Right. I mean, are you thinking team-wise or player-wise?
Anything. Yeah, go on.
Disappointed me a little bit. I mean, I think this season could have probably gone one of 2 ways. They might have really embraced the new season and sort of the new stadium, and pushed on. Altogether than what they've actually done, which is they sort of all torn chunks out of each other, and they flopped, unfortunately. But I mean, going back to what I said earlier, I do think if West Ham can regroup and get a few quality signings in, I think they could really, really shoot up the league next season. I think someone else disappointed me as well is maybe like a you could argue Palace could and should be higher up with the caliber of players they've got. Obviously, with the announcement of their manager today, I think again next season could be a really good one for them.
Yeah, snap reaction on that. Do you think that's a great appointment or?
Yes. Oh, fantastic appointment. I think how they've got hold of him. I think it's really, really fantastic. And I think now the new manager with the players they've got, I think they're my tip of the season, really to go really high in the league, maybe 7th, 8th or 9th place.
Wow. Okay. Well, we'll certainly have to keep an eye on them. Ben, have you got any thoughts of who's disappointed you?
The main one I'd say would be to go back to like issues I don't think just be Leicester. To be honest, I mean, you're coming off the back of that amazing season. You know, like one of the best seasons ever for the club. Probably would never be matched. And then you come in with literally. You can say, oh, it was obvious they weren't going to win the league. And yeah, I do take that point. Obviously, they weren't going to win the league again. But just the way they played was so poor. It was like, it wasn't even the quality players, it was like the attitude as well. They had such a poor attitude throughout all the games before Shakespeare comes in. What they did to Ranieri, like the way they put on performances for him, the way they just failed to turn up, they really, really let him down. I just think with all the positivity around the club, and people talk a lot about momentum, Leicester could not have had any better momentum going into this season, and they just completely embarrassed themselves for the first part as well. I mean, Mahrez is talking about now he wants to leave, but you know the time for that's gone now, because he could have walked into Man United, Arsenal, Chelsea end of last season. End of this season, he said he wanted to leave. I've heard no rumours about anyone circling for him. So, you know, because they've just not turned up this season. It was really disappointing to watch.
Yeah, I have to agree. I think they've been one of the disappointments. Certainly one of the shocks of the season has been Ranieri going. It's just such a shame seeing where they were. So yeah, I completely agree. I've got one last question on this segment, and then we've got to move on. Very quickly, we'll start off with Josh. Josh, what has been your highlight from this Premier League season?
Listen, there's only one moment that springs to mind, and it just screams tin pot mentality and small club mentality. But listen, it doesn't get better than beating like your rivals, and for me, they are bigger rivals than Millwall now for us. And beating Spurs and ending their title hopes at the new ground at the Soulless Bowl was fantastic to see. And honestly, their away end was half empty with 5 minutes to go. So you know what a fantastic night.
The Soulless Bowl.
Yeah,
love that. Okay, interesting stuff there, Ben.
I've been watching Bournemouth actually. I think for them, second season in the league, Eddie Howe, still going really well. Actually, to finish 9th, club record finish. Really unlucky as well, because I believe there were only a couple of goals on goal difference behind the big rival Southampton. But Bournemouth had some really big wins in that season as well. I think one of the games of the season for me was that the win against Liverpool. That was brilliant to watch. I think they've had a great season.
Yeah, that was a great game. Let's bring in Alex then. Alex, let's hear your thoughts.
I quite enjoyed seeing Spurs fans get a little bit excited and then just bottle it right at the end. That was by far my season highlight.
Okay, fair enough. Well, we've got a question sent in from Max, which we'll just add on because it's relevant. He asks... Here we go.
Why am I not on the show?
Well, no, he doesn't ask that. He asks
tea.
He asks thoughts on Spurs' season. Let's go to Alex first. Thoughts on their season?
Absolute bottlers. It's laughable. They all get excited because they're putting the pressure on a little bit. I mean, all that money they've wasted from Bale, they should be challenging every single season and coming really close. But it's happened one season and they got all excited. So hopefully they'll build it next season, but I can't really see it now. I think that's it for 10 years.
Okay, Ben.
Yeah, that's true. They're falling short again. It's disappointing. Really, they should have put up more of a challenge, as they should have done last season as well. So you do get the feeling it might not come for them now.
Okay, and of course, our very impartial Josh Keeper-Wells.
I'm going to enjoy this one. No, I'm going to be honest. Listen, Spurs are a world-class outfit at this moment in time. They've got a world-class manager and they've got the best defender in the league and definitely the best striker in the league. It's only a matter of time until they win it, unfortunately. I think the move has come at the wrong time for them because I think if they was at White Hart Lane for next season, I think they'd go and win the league. But obviously, I'm not too sure how they're going to cope with Wembley. Obviously, they had that wobble last season. But listen, for me, I think, as I said, they're a world-class team. It's only a matter of time now, only a matter of seasons. They just need to add that just one more world-class player, and I think they're definitely going to win the league sometime soon.
Okay, so watch this space. Interesting stuff. We better move on. SA has posted a sort of comment / question. I presume this is in regards to, I want to say, the Leicester and the sacking of Ranieri. He says it's a good question, but it's easy to go for the manager. Have the players done the manager's justice? And I assume that's probably just in general, actually. So interesting stuff there. Keep them coming in, and we'll keep reading them out. But we've got to move on down to the Championship, the home of English football, isn't that right, Alex Crofer?
Oh.
You could just hear the excitement levels go up a notch.
Up the switch.
Oh, he's already laid it. Unbelievable. Well, I'll tell you what. Let's start like we did with the Premier League piece. We'll start with Alex first. How would you sum up the previous Championship campaign?
If I was trying to be let's do it from a mutual perspective, I think it's been quite exciting. I think relegation was quite exciting, apart from Rotherham, who are absolutely awful. I think promotion was quite exciting. A lot of teams that probably should have got in the playoffs haven't in the end. Quite a few teams who shouldn't have got in the playoffs did. So trying to look at it from a mutual, impartial perspective, I think it was quite an exciting one.
Yeah, it certainly was. There was lots of action up and down the table, and it's just, as you say, the relegation battle was still quite tense by the end of it. Let's bring in Josh then. Josh, well, how would you describe it?
Predictable.
Predictable. How comes?
Very, very predictable. I think the only side you couldn't have predicted in terms of like finishing outside the playoffs for me was your boys, Norwich. I expected them to do a lot better than what they did. Obviously, Alex Neil failed miserably at getting the boys in yellow back up to the.
Josh, from an outside view, quickly, what do you think? I'm interested. What do you think actually went wrong for us? Because I don't really know.
Well, to be honest, Alex, if you don't know, mate, I don't know what I'm going to think. I haven't got a clue. I don't know what went wrong. I think. What's your old manager's name again? I literally just said it. Alex Neil, that's the one.
Neil, yeah.
It was a similar case with Justin Edinburgh at Chills. Listen, when both managers came to our clubs, we sort of had a bit of promise, bit of ambition. It seemed like bit of potential there. And listen, both managers got off to a great start. Obviously, Alex Neil got Norwich back into the Prem via the playoffs. Gillingham were top of the league up until Christmas. Then we threw it all away, and it was just them turning points. It was when Norwich got relegated, and the board sort of backed Neil and went, right, we'll give you one more season in the Championship. You got to go and get us back out of it. And I think from sort of that first month on, that was the turning point for Neil, and that's when fans really started to get fed up, and this sort of naivety as well in terms of team selection and formation and sort of style of play was ultimately what cost him his job.
Yeah, we will obviously discuss further Norwich at some point later on in the show, so we'll keep that parked for now. Let's go to Ben. Ben, how would you describe the Championship season?
I quite enjoyed it actually. I thought there was a lot of surprises up and down the table. So yeah, like I don't think certainly didn't expect Brighton to challenge. I was really backing them throughout the season. I thought that would have been a great story for them to win the league. I was a bit gutted, but they still went up. Huddersfield came out of nowhere. Fulham had a bit of a revival as well. Likes of Burton Albion staying up, I really did not see that coming. And then like the big clubs like Nottingham Forest and obviously Blackburn a little bit more expected, but someone like Forest out of the blue and Birmingham as well. I was quite enjoying this slide down the table, actually, for what they did to Gary Rowett. But yeah, no, I really enjoyed the relegation and promotion battle towards the end of the season, actually.
Yeah, I would argue, other than obviously from a personal perspective, Norwich were very disappointing this year. I would probably argue that Birmingham and their slide was just probably one of the biggest disappointments this year, I feel. I don't know what you guys think. What do you make of Birmingham, Josh, and their slide?
It wasn't a disappointment for me. As soon as they got rid of Gary Rowett, I wanted the worst for them. It was new owners got rid of Rowett. Third in the league, one of the best young managers in the country, and get rid of him for zero reason and bring in a fairly unproven manager in Gianfranco Zola. He's managed Watford, West Ham, clubs that he never really implemented his own style and never really had a great deal of success. So for me, that move was baffling. And listen, they deserved everything they got.
It's strange, really, when you think what happened. And I mean, the bookies have obviously put some good odds on them to go up next season. Very quickly, Josh, do you think that they could go up next year?
Next season?
Yeah.
Yeah, with Harry Redknapp at the helm, let's not forget that. He's looking at some ambitious signings. Let's say that. Listen, if he pulls some of them off, they'll definitely be up there. Harry Redknapp is a class manager, and I fully expect them to be at the right side of the table this time.
Okay, and let's hear from Alex, because we've not heard from Alex for a little while now. Alex, Birmingham, what's your thoughts on them?
One of the worst decisions in terms of the sacking I can remember. It was, as Josh said, for absolutely zero reason they fired him. Again, what Josh said, a completely unproven manager in Zola. He's done nothing at any of the clubs he's ever been to, obviously managerially. And I think it was really doomed from the start. Bringing in Redknapp was an absolute fantastic appointment. Kept them up quite comfortably in the end with a game or 2 games to spare, whatever it was. And there's, again, what Josh says, really ambitious signings. If they can pull even just 1 or 2 of them off and maybe build the team around them players, I think they've got a good season ahead and a good few seasons, really, depending on how long they can keep hold of Redknapp for.
Yeah, we'll have to see what happens to them next season. They're certainly one team to watch, to be fair. I'm torn on them. I don't really know. Depends what Birmingham turn up, really. Okay, well, let's talk about what clubs, players and managers that have impressed you this year. So let's start off with Alex again. Alex, who's impressed you?
Oh, Alex Neil. He's really impressed me. Not stepping down when he should. No, who's impressed me this season? I mean, it might be a bit of an obvious one, but Brighton really have. I think they've really stepped up to the plate this year. They've had a few seasons where they've been sort of in and around playoff places, top 2, whatever. But this season they just really, got the head down and just did it. Credit to Chris Hughton. Wasn't great for Norwich, but really just seemed to fit what they're trying to achieve down at Brighton. So, but not the most incredible answer in the world, but I think probably Brighton.
And Ben, who would be your most impressive performance this season? Trying to find my words.
Don't worry. Well, I'm actually going to pick a club which finished 20th. Bit of a strange one, but I'm going to pick Burton Albion in the essence where they're one of the smallest clubs in the Championship. one of the smallest fan bases, stadiums, budget, probably one of the smallest clubs the English second tier's ever seen. And the way that they managed to, well, first of all, stay in the league, and they've done it with a manager, Nigel Clough, who knows the club really well, but he's not really had massive amounts of success at this level before. And essentially, they've brought together a team of misfits. Really, like they've signed a lot of players who have been around the Championship, but have been out of the fray for a couple of seasons. So they've been fringe players in their squads. They've not really scored many goals. They've looking to kickstart their careers, and they've managed to get this group together. Yeah, so players that have essentially been frozen out of their clubs for a couple of seasons. They've brought them in, offered them first team football, and then they're not looked rusty at all. And really, they look quite comfortable. There was never really a prolonged spell after like the opening month when they were in the relegation area. They were always just above it, and they managed to keep their distance all season, and that was really impressive for me.
Yeah, their battle has been certainly impressive, and yeah, as you say, the financials that they had to work on, incredible. Josh, who's been your standout performer this season?
Huddersfield Town, for obvious reasons. David Wagner has done a fantastic job with Huddersfield Town. Favourites to go down, and he's just sort of changed the whole way that the club thinks and their sort of philosophy. And listen, if he can splash some of the cash that they get for going up through the playoffs and get some of the players he wants in, they could definitely stay up next season.
Are you looking forward to seeing them in the Premier League?
Absolutely. I'm more looking forward to their stadium being on FIFA, though.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Well, I mean, aside from that, they play beautiful football, don't they, Josh?
Yeah, efficient football. Listen, you can tell the gaffer's German.
Very true. We've got a comment sent in by SA who says Brighton's path to the Premier League paradise started when they moved into the Amex. Josh, what's your thoughts on that? Do you agree?
What was that? I just missed it.
That's okay. So SA says Brighton's path to the Premier League paradise started when they moved into the Amex. Would you agree?
Well, as a Gillingham fan, Brighton used to ground share with us. Ever since they got the new owners in, that's a club that has changed their whole direction and a club that is moving in the right steps. I went to watch Brighton last pre-season. They played Lazio, and they played beautiful football. Honestly, but they were fantastic, and their whole foundation, their whole setup, their training ground's fantastic. Their ground's fantastic. All they need is to add a few class players or sort of decent Premier League standard players into that side, and they'll do well next season.
Cool. And SA adds on the end of that, both them and Huddersfield will be like a breath of fresh air, much like Cardiff in 2013-14 and Bournemouth in 2015/16. Well, he's super efficient there.
Where does he get all these stats
I don't know.
SA, where do you get all these stats from? Tell us.
There you go. There's a question from Alex. I can't wait to hear the response. We've got to move. We've got to move on. We'll end on this then for the Championship. Alex, what's been your highlight from the season?
Seeing Alex Neil get sacked, unfortunately. I mean, it's a shame, but that probably was for me. I backed Alex Neil virtually all the way. But I think near the end, he just became indefendable. The style of football we were playing wasn't great. He wasn't willing to change things around. I mean, I'm the sort of person who doesn't like to get on managers' backs or try and sack managers. But I think he just became indefendable. Really, it's a shame. Really, he didn't get fired before Christmas. That would have given the new manager some time to get his own players in and get his own style across. But as soon as we fired Neil, we all knew we'd be here next season. We got a good new manager, a handful of good new signings. Got all that Leo Dudar, got a great new sponsor in, so it's all looking good for next season.
Yeah, it certainly is. And they kick off, obviously, their pre-season, I believe, against Lowestoft Town. So get in. Can't wait
Great
for that
game.
one. Yeah, classic game.
Clash of the East Anglia Titans.
Hopefully I can get to that one. We'll have to wait and see. Let's hear from Ben. Ben, what's been your highlight from the season?
I think that a crazy game towards the end of the season where Newcastle away at Brighton, you got Brighton leading 1-0, then all of a sudden like Mo Diarmé scores an absolute screamer, deflected off his boot and it looping in somehow, one of the goals of the season obviously, and then that goes on and sets Newcastle up to go and win the league and steal it on the last day really. Dwight Gale leading the charge, former Peterborough player, absolutely storming the league this season. I think he should do really well in the Premier League as well, and I can see Newcastle doing well. If they need to get a few signings in first, but I think with Benitez in charge, only up for them.
Interesting stuff. And Josh?
I can only really shadow what Ben just said. And Newcastle were fantastic last season, and really should have got the job finished a lot earlier than what they did. I think they need a massive overhaul of players, though. Don't get me wrong, that side was fantastic for the Championship, but a lot of those players can't cut it in the Prem. The likes of what's his name, the French winger, Gouffran, that's the one. He's always been diabolical in the Prem, so I can't see that changing. Now he's the wrong side of 30. So yeah, just a few Premier League standard players in, and they'll definitely be fine next season.
Okay, thank you very much, chaps. Keep your comments and questions flying in, and we will read them out. We're going to move on to a League One and League Two combined section because we are a little bit tight on time tonight because we've got a lot to squeeze in. So let's get straight into it. Ben, obviously Peterborough fan. Who has impressed you this season in League One?
Teams in general.
Yeah.
I was really impressed by Fleetwood actually. They're in a similar situation to Burton in the way they're one of the smaller teams in the league, budgets, etc. I don't think they played. It's not pleasing on the eye, but it's effective football, and I think for a club like them to make the playoffs was a really good achievement, and they were quite. They gave it a good go against Bradford. Obviously, Bradford were a little bit too strong on the day, but I think for the season they've had, and Uwe Rosler as well coming in. I thought that was a really good managerial appointment for them, and he didn't disappoint. I thought Fleetwood had a really good season.
So you're going for Fleetwood, Josh. Who would you go for?
For me, although they didn't get promoted in the end or even achieve playoffs, Rochdale. Listen, for the gates they get, I think they get around 2,000-3,000, which isn't good at all for our level. They massively overachieved. They looked like they was going to get a playoff spot at one stage, and listen, their managers had a fantastic season, but they've lost Mendes Lang now, who I'm aware that Ben will be totally aware of as a former Peterborough player.
I'm absolutely astounded he's gone to the Championship.
Yeah, he's a Cardiff.
Why is that? Why?
It's a massive loss for Rochdale now because he was fantastic for them last season. Obviously, he wasn't great at Peterborough, but Rochdale for me definitely caught my eye.
So Rochdale for you, Ben. Why are you sort of ecstatic to see him go?
I was ecstatic to see him leave Peterborough. He was so slow on the ball. The only thing he would ever do was he'd do pointless stepovers and get tackled. He was so out of shape for us as well. I saw him come to us again. He always scores against us as well with Rochdale. He was just so poor for us. I think he only had one good game in his entire Peterborough career. Oh God, it was just such a frustrating player to watch. And he went to Rochdale and he was one of the players of the season, and now he's ended up in the Championship. And I'm just scratching my head where that Mendes Lang was when he was at us. He just didn't turn up at all. And he's actually got in shape now.
Yeah, I can sense the frustration. Fair enough. Let's bring in Alex then. Alex, who's sort of taken your eye from League One or League Two?
Gillingham certainly took my eye.
Go away, Alex.
What is that? Go on.
Alex, I'm not in the mood, mate. Honestly, don't.
I think they did quite well. No, I'm serious.
Played up.
I can't wait to discuss Jim later on to work out a bit sidetracked what happened because they were looking so good. Anyway, that's just for another time. But they were looking so good. It's a shame.
Okay.
Anyway, again, slightly obvious one, but Sheffield United did incredibly well. They were probably expected to, but I think only 6 losses, sort of speaks for itself. Really, I think they did really fantastic.
Okay, good stuff. Again, we're still on League One, League Two. So you've talked about teams that have impressed you. Who's disappointed you this season? Do you want to start, Josh?
I think it's fairly obvious, my pick.
Josh, tell us what happened.
Go on, Josh.
Tell us what happened. I'm interested.
Are you actually going to make me say it?
Yeah, because I want. We were speaking at the start of the season. It was going so really, really well.
Gillingham Football Club.
Why?
Take it for the season. What?
Well, I'll take you through the season.
Good.
Basically, the season before this, we narrowly missed out on the playoffs after being top at Christmas. Justin Edinburgh brought in a lot of new faces in this summer, including J. Emmanuel Thomas, who previously was the best player in the league during his stint with Bristol City. Also bringing in the likes of Scott Wagstaff, who has won League One before. Billy Knott, who used to be Bradford's main man. And Justin Edinburgh said that a lot of these players were championship standard. We also brought in the likes of Paul Konchesky, Jamie O'Hara, who are now at Billericay Town, which is quite funny. And every player we brought in, Justin Edinburgh claimed was championship standard. And we did start the season quite well, granted. However, after that first month, it seriously went downhill. And it didn't take long for the fans to turn on Edinburgh, especially considering how bad we was in 2017. I think we won 2 games in 2017 in the previous season. And we really took that bad form into this season. And eventually, it got him the deserved sack. But listen, there's no point sacking a manager if you're only going to go and get a worse one. And with the likes of Steve Cotterill, Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank out there, we went for someone that couldn't get Forest Green Rovers out of the National League in terms of Adrian Pennock, who used to play for the Gills. And honestly, Alex and Danny know my thoughts on Justin Edinburgh, but Adrian Pennock is the single worst Gillingham manager I've ever seen in my life.
Why is that?
He doesn't win soccer games, Danny. Listen, 20 games in his interim spell, 4 wins, only one of them deserved. I think paints the picture. Painful football to watch, hoofball. It is honestly painful. And listen, we've had one club legend leave, and now Bradley Dack is on the verge of joining Blackburn, who will definitely win the league next season.
That's a great signing for them, though.
Unbelievable signing for them.
Unbelievable.
Honestly, he'll fire them to the Championship, no doubt. And if he goes there, I hope he bangs in 20 goals. I hope he rips the league apart. I wish him all the best. He's been a fantastic servant. Cheers for everything. I hope he does really well. But listen,
in a way, this
lost his Blackburn Rovers game.
It sounds like a funny angle to look at it, but are you almost happy he's gone for him? Because he's stuck with views. Not really going anywhere in the next few seasons.
Yeah.
Championship standard. Are you happy for him?
Yeah, I am happy for him. Listen, he deserves a move, and we turned down 2.5 million for him last summer from Bristol City, and it looks like we're getting 600k up front now for this Blackburn thing, which should go up to 1.2 million. So when you put it in contrast, am I happy? No, but I'm happy for him. Happy that he will eventually go up to the Championship with Blackburn, and I'm also happy in the fact that listen, he's got 1 year on his contract left at Gillingham. If he doesn't move now, we could lose him for free. And do you know what I mean? I'd rather get the money in now, despite how little it is. Get the money in, get him gone. Then we've got time to find a sort of replacement. We won't replace him; he's irreplaceable. But we can find someone to fill his void.
Okay. and you don't think you can do that at all.
No, same with Cody McDonald. They're both irreplaceable players. We do have Billy Knott, as I previously mentioned, but he's on the transfer list, and he's got plenty of interest in him. And Adrian Pennick does not fancy Billy Knott at all. And for me, Billy Knott is the ideal replacement for Bradley Dack. He's nowhere near as good as Dack. I think Bradley Dack is one of the best players in the league, if not the best player in the league. Aaron Oztuma also up there, but Billy Knott for me is the ideal replacement, and he's in our squad. And he's on the transfer list, and I'm seriously bemused because he's one of the best footballers at the club by a mile.
Okay, so we've got to move on very quickly. Then, what has been your highlight from this season, Ben?
Highlight of the League One season. It's nothing Peterborough did, that's for sure. Let's have a think. I spent most of the League One season pretty depressed actually about how bad we were doing, but could be worse.
Really, Ben?
As I've just heard.
Really? Are you sure?
Yeah,
you honestly
try supporting Gillingham. That's it.
That's true. That is true.
Positions with you right now, mate.
That is true. I must admit, it's not as bad as it could have been. It's just, I just feel we've been so misled.
Losing your two best players after the season as well always helps.
Not only our two best players, but my favourite player of all time, Cody McDonald, my favourite player ever. The last time I was this upset about Jules' transfer was when Matt Jarvis left us, and I was about 6 and I cried.
That'll be me if Wes Houlihan leaves today.
Oh, he can't.
I will be in bits.
No.
Is he linked with a move away? Is he?
No, he's not.
No.
Theoretically,
he's coming Jules on loan to replace Dacky.
No, he's not.
No, never.
He will never leave us. Ever.
Houlihan is magic. He wears a magic hat.
He
used to play for Norwich. He didn't fancy that. He wants to play in Medway with Billy Knott too. That's all I got.
That's it. That's the person.
Sounds good.
That is all I've got.
I can't believe it because, actually, Ben, your highlight is just being depressed the whole season.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. I'm not a big fan of the clubs that went up. I wasn't particularly impressed or entertained by the way Bolton played. Certainly not the way Millwall played, and I was very angry to see them win at Wembley. That was an appalling finish, but it did sum up the League One season quite well for me. Yeah, I didn't enjoy watching any of the relegation. I didn't enjoy. I'm going to be honest, Danny. I didn't enjoy this season at all. I really didn't. I think AFC Wimbledon got a couple of wins over MK Dons. That was pleasing, and that's about all I can muster, I'm afraid.
Yeah, that's a fair point. That's a fair point. You know what? I'm getting this depressive vibe tonight. I think all of our clubs haven't done well this year.
No, to be fair, Gill's done really well.
Gill's got
they massively overachieved, mate.
Gill's got 600k for their best player. Come on.
Come on, Josh. Tell us your highlight. And please don't say it ending.
Surprisingly, Danny, I think I've come up with 3.
You got 3? How have you got 3
highlights?
Oh, go on then. Fire away.
Rival Swindon Town relegated.
Yeah, 1.
2. Staying up on the last day because there's limbs and I cried.
Yeah, okay. 3.
And the third one is Emmanuel Osadavy being released.
From prison? Oh.
Yeah.
oh God! I'll tell you, mate. Jules player prison. I have to speak to you after. Oh my God! Honestly, I cannot say anything on the podcast. It is bad.
Have you got some? You got an exclusive? Have you?
I have.
Don't save it for your own vlog, mate. Share it.
No.
A juicy exclusive.
Honestly, it's got to stay between close friends.
Okay, we'll save you the save you that for now anyway. Alex, what's been your highlight? To
be honest, I'll be lying if I knew a highlight less than 5 minutes ago because I didn't even really follow League One. So to make one up, I was very happy that Bolton went up again. Really, really happy.
Okay, why Bolton? Of all
Because I'm just
teams?
I'm looking at the league table, and they went up. So
Okay, yeah, okay, fair enough.
To
You're
be
happy
fair-
for them.
follow them
To
all.
be fair,
Follow them
I'm
all.
also buzzing Bolton went up because they beat us 4-0 twice.
I follow them all season. Well done, Bolton.
Fair play to
Name
Bolton.
me one player without looking.
Owen Coyle.
Owen Coyle.
One player.
Juicy Jessica is he still there?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Juice is still there. Isn't he?
Gary Cahill? No.
Campo?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure
Kevin
Campo
Davis?
as well. Kevin Davis, oh god. Wow, some
JJ
classic
Okocha?
players.
Great
Jaskalainen.
Great players.
Did Jaskalainen play for them?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Juicy
Yeah, he did. And did Anelka play for them at one point?
Yeah,
He did. Do you know who else played for Bolton? Daniel Sturridge on loan, mate.
Oh yeah.
Yes, he did. Yes,
Good
he
players.
did. Hmm.
Good players.
Well, anyway, they'll be back in
Love Bolton.
the champ, so that's fine.
And then the Bolts. No.
So let's move on to our final segment for tonight. We are going to talk about our own clubs, and then we're going to answer some questions right at the end. So keep your questions in. This is your last call for questions and comments.
All the
whilst
two
we
viewers, go on, send them
Yeah.
in, guys.
Send them in. So who wants to kick us off? Who wants to talk about their club
Me.
first? Go on in, Alex.
Yes.
Go on.
Wow, what an absolute shambles. Shambles with a capital S. A capital one, right?
A capital.
A capital one, not a lowercase or anything else. Or an italic. No, actually, an italic as well.
Oh, okay. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Capital and italic, not
Yeah.
bold?
No, not bold. Not quite bold.
Not bold.
It wasn't that bad.
Okay. What font?
It's this. I went into this season with really, really, really high hopes. Alex has already got us back up. We kept people like Tim Close. Things look on paper, we're looking quite good. I mean, we kept people like Johnny Howson. The Murphy twins really stepped up for me this season, but something just didn't quite click. Whether it was, what was it? Was it old Moxie? Whether it's him not doing his job properly, or the manager not doing his something, just didn't quite click this season. I mean, in all fairness, I'm not sure if we were quite ready to go straight back up again. Now I've had some time to sort of chew it over. Maybe we need a season or two to get back to maybe where we were, get the right players in. But overall, very, very disappointing. But not as disappointing as Gillingham. So it's not always as bad as someone else.
Just actually on Jess Moxie.
Moxie.
Yeah, this is not. I mean, I can imagine a lot of people have probably not seen this.
An absolute idiot.
But he done an interview in FC Business magazine, and I got that magazine, and I've got that with me actually. That I'll have to dig it out in a minute and just have a quick look. But very interesting
magazine.
Very interesting magazine. And definitely worth watching.
Sponsored by this magazine?
No, I promise I'm not. But no, it was so funny because he I'm trying to find the date. What was the date on that? That was, where is it? January 2017, and he's talking about it's like literally the first page. The caption is Moxie's long-term vision.
That went well.
Yeah, that's why I've still got it.
I'm not sure what his definition of long is, but
Well, I mean, it's quite interesting. It's a very good read. Definitely worth looking. I'd advise you to look at it, Alex. Certainly,
definitely sponsored.
Certainly not.
Get a cut of this, Christ.
But no, I found it really interesting because obviously Jess Moxie. I mean, it was a bit of a disaster, wasn't it? Really,
Absolute disaster. He's an absolutely terrible human being.
And you know what though, sticking to Norwich, for those who know me quite well, I met David McNally. Must have been around about that time, January, February.
Just pick that name up for you, Daniel. I think you just dropped.
Well, I mean, of all places, I saw him in London. That sounds quite obvious, but I mean, I saw him on a street just passing by in London, just trying not to sound dodgy.
I saw Liam Jury at McDonald's this morning. That's nothing on that.
Who'd have thought that?
I brought a bacon roll.
But no, I mean, it's just incredible. I can't believe what's happened. And he's a very nice guy, David McLaney. So I was very sad for him to go. What was your gut feeling when he went, Alex?
I think we needed some new leadership. Just anyone but Moxie, really. But I think it was time for him to go. He done well stabilising the club. I can remember the days where we signed Leroy Lisa on loan, and I thought that was incredible. If you remember them days, Danny.
Yeah. Trust me, I don't forget them days.
We signed Leroy Lisa on a 6-month loan from Middlesbrough, was it?
I mean, we've had all sorts of players throughout the years.
And that was like signing Messi.
Yeah, Sammy Klingen being one. I mean, he was like our only saviour from getting relegated to League One.
So he's taken us from that to where we are now. So overall, he's done very well. But I think it was time for some fresh ideas. But then again, we're not Gillingham, so I keep going back to that.
Okay, well,
it's not as bad.
Let's move on to Gillingham then. Josh.
Yes.
Right. Talk to us about the Gills and obviously West Ham as well.
I've spoken enough about Gills. I've had enough. Pennick out.
Okay, West Ham then.
Bradley, that.
Just on the last note about Gills, Pennick out, Scally out, everyone out.
Everyone's out. Everyone's out. Okay.
Well, just like the stadium as well, just like the fans.
Tea lady out, fans out.
The tea lady's going. Okay. Poor Dorothy. And it's
oh dear.
Listen, she's not been good enough.
You've given her the P45. That's outrageous.
She's not been putting in the performances on the pitch.
Hashtag justice for Dorothy.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
My God. Go on then. Talk to us about West Ham then. Surely you don't want everyone out there.
Yes.
Brady out, Sullivan old out. Board out.
What's wrong with Brady?
Spencer FC out. Well, what do you want to know about West Ham then, Danny?
What's wrong with Karen Brady?
Talk to me, yeah. What's going on? What the Soul Bowl? The Soul Bowl.
The Soul Bowl.
Soulless Bowl. Yeah.
Tell you what, Danny, you don't have managed to butcher some stuff.
Oh, trust me, I'm like a classic central defensive midfielder.
Oh, mate, you're at Wembley studying whatever you're studying, coaching and journalism, whatever you do. And you're going to end up a butcher.
It's a good degree, coaching journalism. Hand in hand.
Mate, I'm qualified in butchering. Yeah.
Well, listen, West Ham needs serious reinforcements because despite how bad the players that we did have, like how bad they were, listen, there was a lot of them. So we have a lot of numbers to replace, and with the amount of players we need shipping out, such as Valencia, Diafra Sacco, etc., we're going to need to bring a lot in, and we're going to need to add quality. And at the moment, we don't really look to be doing a lot of business. We're linked with Henry Onyekuru.
Danny butchers some names.
Well, listen, come on. At least mine was difficult. It's a Soul Bowl.
That is difficult.
He's a geezer from the Belgian league that was linked with Arsenal, and now apparently we're going to sign him for some reason. I've never seen him play, so I'm yet to make a judgment.
What about Giroud?
Giroud. Now, if we sign Giroud, oh my God, fantastic business. Another one, Michy Batshuayi.
Oh, imagine them three with
a fantastic signing.
Batshuayi, Giroud, and Valencia up front. Incredible.
What a front three.
Now, what have you had to ruin that for?
It's impeccable.
Okay, maybe not Giroud then.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we need goals. We need a lot of them as well. But yeah, I think the defence is ever so slow. Jose Fonte is yet to impress me. Robert Snodgrass also yet to impress. I think he's on the way out. I think Brighton are interested.
We'll have him back.
What, already?
Yeah, I think he looks to be on the way out.
We'll have him.
And we're linked with Adama Traore, who I like the look of last season, but 0 goals, 0 assists for 16 million? No, thank you.
Yeah, I have to say, as an outsider, I would agree. He was, when I've seen him play, he's exciting, but he doesn't.
He's got no end product. That's his problem.
No,
he hasn't got anything.
He's so exciting to watch, but there's just nothing
Yeah, the thing is, I bet he's exciting to watch from someone that doesn't support that team. But when you support that team,
Oh yeah, I bet it's
you must find him so
frustrating.
infuriating. There's so many of those players about. Daniel Sturridge is one of them. I love him, but if he played for West, I mean, I love him at West Ham, obviously, but I bet he's so infuriating because of how greedy he is.
Yeah, I've got a quick question actually before we move on to Ben because we're running out of time. I had this one noted down as we was talking about Spurs earlier. If you had to pick one Spurs player to sign, who would you sign?
Oh, it's obvious, isn't it? Harry Kane.
Great question.
Great question. Great point.
Well,
I don't want to pat myself on the back, but yeah, go on in.
Do it anyway.
Cheers, Alex.
well,
There you go. Virtual.
Well, I say it was easy actually. There's three options for me, and obviously Kane being first. Toby Alderweireld, who I think is without doubt the best centre half in the Premier League, and Hugo Lloris because we haven't got a good goalkeeper. You've got
Randolph.
Huh?
You got Randolph.
Exactly.
What's wrong with he? He used to rap with KSI.
Oh God.
What's happened with Adrian? There we go.
Adrian.
My God,
Around the
really,
corner.
Danny? Really?
Let's try that again. Adrian, where's he at?
Where's he at? Oh, not saving shots, wherever that is.
Oh, shots.
I miss Max.
Jesus Christ. Oh God.
He's not saving shots, so what? He's not
Danny,
even...
mate, go to the shop and buy some banter.
Buy some banter. Wow. Wow. Yeah, go on.
Listen, I think Adrian is a number 2 goalkeeper. He's definitely not a starter. And definitely not in the what is that?
What on earth is that?
And definitely not in the Premier League.
I don't know.
He
What
made
was that, Ben?
he made
Thanks.
he made countless amounts of mistakes last season, as did Randolph, and we've got to be looking at Joe Hart. Have to be. If not him, then Jan Sommer from Borussia Mönchengladbach. You try pronouncing that, Danny. I think he's
Danny,
a great
say it
goalkeeper.
again. Say it.
Was that Jan Sommer?
Not that one. Borussia
No.
Mönchengladbach.
Oh, God. No. We'll save that for now.
Go on, Danny.
We'll save that for now.
Go on, Danny.
Borussia Mönchengladbach.
It's the last one of the season. Last TFF Talks.
Borussia
You can't buy it,
Mönchengladbach.
surely.
Borussia Mönchengladbach.
Yeah, not bad to be fair. Not bad.
Yeah, no, it's okay. I needed to run through it a couple of times. You can't see it. I mean, it's not going to happen.
Back. Reece Oxford's gone there on loan for the season.
Oh, there we go. Where's he gone?
Borussia Mönchengladbach.
There we go.
Who's that?
Impeccable.
Impeccable. You know what I need?
Where's he gone?
I need the Google Translate speaking thing. That would really help me. Like what happened on transfer deadline day. Any dodgy named players, I could just type into that and boom, there we go.
Talking about deadline day live streams.
Yeah, talking of deadline day live streams. Do you want to plug that first before we go to that?
I'll let you do it as YouTube chap.
Basically, whilst these two are mucking about, we'll probably do a live stream on deadline day. So yeah, watch it. There you go. Plugged.
Pretty much. Yeah. Let's get him on the sales team. Yeah.
Listen,
Awesome.
I'm available for hire if you need any adverts doing. Cheap.
2
cheap as chips.
GCSEs.
Right.
Okay, let's go to bed. Let's go to bed. Come on in, Ben. Talk about
I love
Peterborough.
Gillingham. Oh, up Medway.
I'm happy to say we were better than Gillingham.
Josh is not happy.
Although I was disappointed with our season. Going into it, I did have high hopes for the season. You know, at least push playoffs. It did start well actually. For up until Christmas, we looked good for the playoffs. We were getting a few results. Actually, we got the game against Chelsea away in the FA Cup. That was a brilliant experience. Played really well there. Got John Terry sent off. Pretty much ended his Chelsea career. That was a highlight. But then after that Chelsea game, it just disappeared. Everything just went wrong. Basically, I mean, I really don't know what happened because it's so frustrating. Like where you and Danny are coming from when you talking about Norwich and what went wrong, and for me, like I look at our goalkeeper, our defence, and our midfield, and it's like some of the best players I've seen at the club in a long time, and I wouldn't know who to change. Like one by one, if I were to pick my side, I would want them in it. But like for some reason, it just wasn't happening again. I mean, I do think we helped in the summer and in January. I think we did some poor business, which meant that we couldn't build any momentum from January onwards. I mean, we signed people like Junior Rice. He actually scored a brilliant goal against Gills in the last minute, which was the only good thing he did all season. He was he's just like a fat.
He's so fat.
He is.
Wow.
You should see the pictures of him now, though. He's been working hard all pre-season. He's so slim now. He looks unrecognisable. But yeah, we signed him in January. He'll be back on
the Big Macs by October, I tell you.
Yeah, we're gonna drive him to that for how we're playing.
Thing is, he's a good player. It's just I was looking at him, I was like, he's so fat.
I know.
What is he doing on this pitch?
I know.
Honestly, he's like a baby Akinfenwa.
He made his debut for us away at Scunthorpe, and I was at that game. He looked tired after half an hour. It was blowing.
Just a quick disclaimer: if this bloke's lawyer gets in contact, these aren't the views of the blog. These are just views of
not
two individuals.
Yeah,
I don't even know who this guy is.
half the panel, not even the full panel. Half the panel. There we go.
Thank you.
Carry on.
Yeah, so he was one of the poor signs. Like players like Hayden White, Jerome Benham Williams. Oh, they were just so. They look out of place as footballers, and yeah, they really let the side down. And we didn't have any goals either. Like our chairman keeps going on about Twitter about, we're going to go up. We've got one of the best squads in the league. I even asked him on Twitter, if we went up, do you think we'd have a lot of work to do? And he said no. And now, come the summer, he's talking about how he needs to rip up the squad. So
a little bit deluded.
Yeah, clearly somebody was. We went into the season with like Leanne Goal, Shaquille Cole first, Junior Rice, God help us, Tom Nichols, Paul Taylor. These are all strikers who just have absolutely no goals in them, and yeah, so our games turned into just so frustrating because we weren't very creative either. Towards after January onwards, we just was so awful and frustrating to watch. I was glad the season ended. We somehow managed to rescue a top half finish. But
Okay.
yeah, I'm very looking forward to next season.
Are you, Ben, like Josh, in terms of you want to see everyone, including the tea lady, exit the door? Or do you feel it is the players that are at fault and not so much the backroom staff?
I'm prepared to give the manager it was his first ever season in management, Grant McCann. I'm prepared to give him this season, well, maybe not, maybe half of this season. If we don't start well, I'm going to start asking questions. But I'm prepared to I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt because I think it mainly was the players. They've got a few months before I maybe started to turn, but we're not at the stage yet where everyone's out.
Josh, you had a point? I think
yeah, I was going to say, in all due respect, I think his name's Dara McAntony.
Yeah, Dara McAntony. Yeah,
he is definitely one of the best, if not the best owner in League One, without a shadow of a doubt. He knows when to sell his players and has always managed to sell them on for a profit. And I think the way he runs his club is incredible and definitely something our owners should learn by.
Good stuff. Good stuff. I've got 3 more questions, and then we're going to finish tonight's show. These should be quite quick ones as well. So let's go to Josh first on this one. Josh, Crystal Palace's new manager. What do you make of him?
In fairness, I don't know a lot about him. Obviously, I know who he is. Did he used to manage Ajax?
Yes, I believe so.
Yeah, I know that much.
Yeah.
I don't know how he did there. I literally haven't got a clue. I probably should know more about him than what I currently do.
He won 4 league titles of Ajax.
So yeah, he done quite bad at Ajax then. But I don't know. He's always been bandied about as quite a good manager. So it'll be interesting to see how he copes with the Premier League, and I look forward to watching them next season, especially now Zaha signed his new deal, and I think they managed to keep hold of Benteke. Listen, they got a good squad on their hands, and I think they need a few more additions. And listen, they've got to do better than last season, surely.
Surely, he says. Surely, I think so. Yeah, I agree. Ben, a question sent in from SA. He says, random question: what do you make of Hartlepool's crest change? Have you seen it?
I don't like it at all. I don't really. Obviously, I'm not really a Hartlepool fan, but from an outsider's perspective, I'm just a bit confused with it. Like, the club colours are blue and white, and now all of a sudden it's gold and it's got a deer on it. I don't know if there's a connection to deers in Hartlepool, but for me, it just doesn't seem related to the club in any way, and I don't really get why they've done it.
Okay.
I don't like it.
Final question of the night goes to Mr. Alex Crofer. So, Alex, where is Garth?
Good question. Put it this way, Garth has expired. Shall we put it that way? Garth's voice has expired. No, I think last I heard from Garth, he was in I think it was Sweden picking celery. Yes. I mean, if anyone wants to help me out and buy his license fee again, I'm sure he might make an appearance. Who knows? If the demand's there, I'll give him a phone call.
Okay, well, there it is. If you want Garth back, please register your
Credit
demand
card.
for
Credit card. PayPal details, wife, etc.
Oh dear. Well, listen, chaps.
Wait for the license cost, okay? Can we raise it?
Listen, chaps, it's been a pleasure to have you on, as always. So thank you very much for appearing on tonight. We've unfortunately come to the end. We've sort of ran over a little bit, but thank you very much,
20
guys.
minutes?
Yeah, just a bit.
Look, it's Max's bedtime.
It is. Sorry, Max.
I'm mine.
It has been a pleasure to be a part of TFF Talks this season. Thank you very much, Danny, for doing a great job.
Thank you very much.
Danny's done a fantastic job this year launching this whole podcast malarkey. So thank you, Danny. You ready? It's been really good fun.
Best of luck to the last vlog.
Give me 20 quid, Josh.
Links in the description.
40.
Links in the description.
60.
Yeah, that's a double. You double it each time, yeah?
iTunes, Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, MySpace, Bebo, MSN.
Bebo! Oh my God. Jesus. Wow. Bebo.
What, an app now?
Is that? Okay.
Yeah,
well, it looks like I'm going to be checking out Bebo after this. In the meantime, do you want to share your Twitter handles with everyone? Where's Alan? Where is she? Well, she's got a boyfriend, so Alan is Alan's occupied, should we say? So maybe we can get her on. I'm sure she'll want to come on at some point. I'll see what I could do between now and the next episode. But go on in, Alex. Do you want to give us your Twitter handle so we can give you a follow?
At Liam Jury 4.
At Ben?
At BennyBoyo702.
Good stuff, Josh.
Just as a little shock, I'm gonna give the Last Thoughts blog Twitter handle instead. At Bill's blog.
£120.
Yeah, that's fantastic. And mine is
4 accounts, isn't he? TFF Josh.
Yeah, TFF Josh.
Yeah, that's one.
And Danny's account is at the Jules blog also.
Wow. Well, I'm looking forward to receiving my commission on that. But until that comes in, it's at Danny Cook 1996. So please continue the debate on social media. It's always a laugh. So yeah, unfortunately tonight was the last show of the season, and we won't be back until the start of next season, which I believe we're going to come back in about a month's time, aren't we? Or 2 to 3 weeks, something along them lines. So around July.
Viewers an episode next time. We can always
see what we can do. Shout out to my mum. Thank you for your support.
Thank you for your support, Mrs. Cook.
Always a pleasure. And
Danny,
so,
quickly plug your thing to all our 2 viewers.
oh, that's all right. I can plug that in the end. That's fine.
It's called the Last Waltz blog.
No, it's not.
You have 1 minute. Sell it.
Okay, so for those who obviously follow me on social media or know me, we're setting up a new site with the help of obviously Alex has been instrumental with his help over the last couple of months. We're setting up a site and it's going to be called Halftime Cuppa. It's going to provide some slightly different football content to TFF. So the idea is us and TFF will feed in quite nicely, and obviously Josh with his Last Waltz blog.
Sorry, what was that, Danny?
Sorry, a connection cut out there. The Last Waltz blog. There we go.
The Last Waltz blog.
Yeah.
Wait, Kush has got a blog. What's it called? I don't think he's told us.
Oh yeah.
Did someone say Josh has got a blog?
I don't know, mate.
That's a new one on me.
I've not got a blog.
The last one?
Jesus.
The last pulse. What?
Just in
But
case.
yeah.
Just in case you did.
Just in case,
Sorry,
yeah, you better give the
the
details
Last
just in
Waltz
case.
blog.
Okay.
Just
Thank
in
you.
case.
And yeah, it's going to provide some content, and there should be some links between the sites. So yeah, worth checking out. It should be coming out late July. So that's the dates anyway. Thank you very much for that, Alex. So yeah, just to conclude then, I've been your host, Danny Cook, and that is all for the 35th and special, very special end of season review
And
episode.
final series, first series, not final series. I'm not cancelling it. First series.
Final of the first season. Surprise, we're cancelled. No, brilliant stuff. So
Cheers, Danny.
thank you
Thanks
very
for your
much.
Great season.
No problem whatsoever. And this was brought to you by Crowford Media and Halftime Cuppa, and sponsored by a very generous sponsor, Classic 11 Shirts. Of course. Brilliant stuff. Thank you very much, and good night.